My name is Jackie Malice. I'm one of the product managers for the social tool. My area is focused in monitoring and listening, and super excited to be here today to discuss all things social. I'll pass it over to Lemon.
Hi, everyone. My name is Layman. I am also the other PM on the social team, and my area of focus is reporting and publishing.
So just quick agenda for today. We're going to go through a bit of the social landscape and strategy, some things to be thinking about as a part of your strategy, the value of HubSpot Social, how our system can connect into what you need to be doing in HubSpot, what's new in social. We have a lot of new things, even as of today, that private beta we'll be talking about later, and a Q&A. So to start, shifts in the social landscape and how to stay on top. Looking at the social landscape the last couple of years, we've seen major shifts in how your audience is interacting with your social posts. And so some of the key players that have come into the picture are Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. For B2B, we're really seeing still that growth of Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. But we're keeping tabs on some emerging markets that have been more focused on B2C and starting to see how they might grow for our B2B customers. When thinking about then also your general audiences, Gen Z has started to become more in the buyer seat for some of your customers. And so that's where some of these shifts, we start to see the growth in short form video starting to really excel. And we've seen that our social media users are saying that that's been the highest ROI for their brands.
And then thinking of marketing as a whole, social media has basically become a preferred channel for consumers. So this is where customers are going to discover product, to find product, to search for information. And a lot of the data shows that as well. 17% of US adults use social search more often as a search engine. So it's the go-to place for discovery. And then now there's a growing need for influencers and creators and thought leaders in the B2B space, speaking to products and services offered by businesses as well. And when we kind of think of the social customer journey within HubSpot, but also as marketers in general, there are 3 stages you kind of should think about: the attract, the engage, and the learn. And so when thinking about the customer journey, specifically in the attract stage, you want to make sure that you're delivering content to reach your social audiences that is high quality, that attracts the right audiences, that is targeting the right people at the right time across the right social networks as well. And so one key tool, which we'll get into today, is our social composer that allows you to publish across multiple networks, different content types, and target your niche audiences as well.
In that next step of engage, not only do you need to be having a presence on social, but you need to be growing and building that community. 27% of online users are saying that they want to engage more in a community in 2024. And what better is than to use HubSpot Social to help grow that community? I like to think of, and I'm even going to suggest the cocktail test of, if you're at a cocktail party and you're just saying all the information directly at that partner, how long are they going to want to stick around for? Not very long. So you want to be able to not only have a presence, but start to build that conversation. And within HubSpot in social monitoring, you can do it across the networks that are most important for your brand. And lastly, first we want to attract and then engage, but we want to understand, how are we doing? Is this actually working? And within HubSpot Social, you can go deep into the social metrics and then start to look to see what's working, what's not, and pivot your strategy from there. So how do I get the most value out of social at HubSpot?
So we hear a lot of pain points from marketers today. The expectations of social media managers and marketing managers is increasing. There's tons of social media channels to keep up with, to engage, attract, and learn from across the board. And so some things we hear are, there are so many channels. And one value that you can get from HubSpot is the ability to manage, optimize, and analyze your presence across all these networks. So you don't have to go to LinkedIn, you don't have to go to Instagram. You can do that all in one place. And that makes it easier to juggle as you create and publish and engage seamlessly across the board as well. And Jackie will kind of speak to campaigns.
So exactly, when you think about campaigns, as Layman has mentioned too, instead of juggling between the different networks, you also can look at all of your marketing efforts in one place. So instead of having to go to different systems, you can go to campaigns and see, across the board, your emails, your forms, your ads, your social, how everything is working in orchestration with one another. And without having social connected, you're missing a key piece of that fuller strategy.
Awesome. And then social sits on a marketing platform with CRM functionality. So as Jackie was saying, you get that shared and richer customer insight as well across the board for all your social networks.
So I think what everyone's been waiting for, what's new?
So lots of updates across social in the past 6 months. As we all know, there's a huge push and investment in AI across the market. And within HubSpot, we've prioritized a lot of AI updates. Using social publishing, you can use our AI assistant, which helps you create social posts. You can also summarize blogs into social posts as well and link out to those on your social media networks to increase that engagement. We all know LinkedIn is the go-to source for B2Bs and the highest place for ROI on your investments. So we've updated a lot of the content types that you have across LinkedIn, LinkedIn polls, documents, audience targeting. And then we've closed out the suite of mentions as well. So you can mention across LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram and have that all in one place, which is awesome. And I think Jackie's going to do a quick demo of that update as well.
Yeah. Is everyone ready for demo time? All right.
Always demos.
Let's keep the positive visualizations going for demo. So today I'm going to demo our real-time app mention functionality. As Layman mentioned, now in monitoring, in the past, your brand would be getting comments or posts or app mentions from all different parts of the World Wide Web, right? Within social. And before, you'd have to go into each network and see those notifications. But now that all lives in HubSpot and in real time. So I'm going to say at Layer B&B, our test account, what a beautiful picture. And I'm going to post it. Oh, no. Usually it would go through. I've just been testing too much, which is good.
Oh, Instagram.
Instagram's on top of their spam, but no worries. We're all creative people here, right? So imagine that post went through.
Do you want to drop this link in the chat real quick?
Oh,
I bet somebody would comment on it.
Yeah, let's see. View app mention at Layer B&B.
You might get more than you want.
For what you asked for.
Oh man, I came to do it and somebody already has. So
all right, I'm going to refresh it. And in a couple of minutes, we should see it come through. But oh man.
Wait, are those not the new ones?
All good. I think it's just being a little camera shy today. But I can promise you, within a couple of seconds, if not minutes, it will appear. And
aren't those the new ones? Send.
Not just yet, but
okay. Those are the ones I saw. Sorry,
yes.
I thought they were new.
No, those were the ones that I did earlier today. That's the reason
I should have commented.
But all good. I promise you, and I will. We can do. You know what, Kyle? Next time we'll do that top test. I promise I'll beat your top. But
great.
What I'm really excited to show you is that within Monitor, under Instagram, Facebook, and now LinkedIn streams. If someone's to @mention, again, within seconds, if not minutes, you'll have those @mentions right in HubSpot. But wait, as of this morning, you can now, within one click, using AI-powered quick replies, respond to those @mentions right away. Oh, something is having camera shyness, but I promise you it's super exciting. We're really excited for you to get involved and test it out. And yeah, blame Bevy. But exactly, within seconds, you can have a quick reply, and you can take that time that you need to work on your amazing content and have that time spent towards building that community even faster. And that's what we're trying to do, all in one place. And I'm going to hand it over to Layman.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. Let me share my screen. Let's hope our demos don't go haywire today. Can everyone see my screen?
Positive visualizations, Layman.
Yeah, we're seeing it.
Perfect. Okay, so many of you have probably seen, this is our main landing page for social, where you come to see all your social media posts across networks, publish. And so I'll do a quick demo to walk you through some of our updates that we have here. So these are my 2 accounts that are selected by default in my settings, but let's switch this over to LinkedIn. Perfect. So in our composer, you see you can use our AI assistant to help you generate some social captions, which will be copied across the board. And here within the LinkedIn tab, you can see that we've now added new content types. So we've had photo and video, and now we're also supporting polls and documents. Polls are a really great way to engage your audience as a B2B on LinkedIn. There's a lot of content that audiences are seeing day to day, and polls is a great way to get a pulse on your customers, what they're thinking, any sort of trends that you want to understand in your space. And it's just kind of like that lighthearted engagement that kind of breaks apart a lot of the content heavy things that we see on LinkedIn day to day. So here you add in your question. You obviously need 2 options, and you can add up to 4. And then I usually recommend setting your poll duration for at least a week, because it gives you some time to get some traction and engagement, but you can do it for as short as 1 day or up to 2 weeks. And then you can add it to a campaign within HubSpot, so you can report on the comments, likes, shares, etc. And you can also see that data in your list view in your reports. And then also you schedule that out, and you can target as well, which is something I'll get into in a bit. And then once you're done there, you can just publish that to LinkedIn and start seeing the votes come in. And one thing you'll see is on the list view, so on this page over here is where you could go into the poll and see how the votes are coming in, what are the number of votes, and also see your interactions across the board as well. I'm a huge fan of LinkedIn polls. They're very tempting, and I always have to submit an answer. So I love them as a form of engagement. The other update that we have as well is LinkedIn documents. So opposite of polls, documents are kind of a great way to share a lot of information with your customers without them having to leave LinkedIn and go directly to your website. So we see a lot of people using this for event information, any sort of sales information, reviews or case studies. And it's very simple, similar to how you upload photo or video. You can upload the document directly from your file manager or from your computer. So let's pick something here. And then once you have your document, you can add a title in there. Titles are really great to help you with the discovery process on LinkedIn. Schedule it, add it to a campaign, and then easy to go from there as well. One really great update actually for LinkedIn in general is now having the ability to actually target your posts on LinkedIn. So targets are a great way for you to reach different audiences or demographics. You do need to have at least 300 followers to do this. But once you select target audience, you can pick across many different variables. So it could be specific language spoken, job function, or university or seniority. And as you select these count towards your follower count. And then once you publish this out, goes directly to LinkedIn and it's targeted to that specific group. So it's a great way to reach specific audiences that you want to channel that content to. So yeah, that's some updates on LinkedIn.
Awesome. So at this time, we're happy to kick off the Q&A.
Hey, sorry, just one question I'm working on right now. Polls and documents too, I think, are they both still in beta? You need to opt in order to see those functionalities?
So documents is released to everybody, pro and enterprise. And polls actually will be released to, it's currently in beta, but will be released to everyone by Thursday of this week. So
amazing.
Yeah,
cool.
Everyone should have access to that.
So Anita, I believe I just did a properly formatted link that will take you directly to the specific beta you need to opt into for polls. But if the link is broken, let me know. With that, let's head over to the Q&A. One last call out, fill out the form in the chat. Especially if you would like access to those AI generated replies. I'm dropping it in one more time here. Oh, and Deanna beat me to it. And yeah, other than that, head over to the Q&A. Q&A is fun because we can upvote things. So take a look through the questions, everybody. Upvote the ones that you like best. That is preferable to adding it a second time. And I will just pause for a minute here, let you put in your questions, let you upvote, and then I'll sort it and we'll work most popular to least popular.
We all know Kyle can't stay quiet for that long, so please upvote your questions fairly quickly.
That is true. Okay. Cool. Most upvoted with 12 upvotes. Oh, from Max Cohen. Max, thanks for being here, buddy. Are there any plans to tie social into help desk? Could see how teams that have support teams active on social beyond Facebook Messenger might want, for example, to have Twitter in conversation somehow when someone uses a hashtag to contact support.
That's a great question. So right now we're in discovery around how direct messaging may work within the HubSpot ecosystem. What I'm asking of you all, though, is if you have use cases for direct messaging, like, for example, Twitter, please go to the ideas forum. Please go to your CSMs. That information helps us as product managers help to prioritize and get those features faster in your hands too.
Great. Then Sean asks, will integration with TikTok be coming to HubSpot?
That's a great question. We hear that all the time. And TikTok is, as Jackie said earlier in our session today, a really important network for engagement. It's definitely growing. So our team is actually doing a lot of research behind TikTok. So I'd say stay tuned. And it's definitely on our radar. Yeah.
Cool. HubSpot is great at creating content for the feed, but is there going to be support for things like Instagram stories, especially since Facebook and TikTok have similar functions?
Yes, our team is currently working on stories, actually. So we're aiming for roughly Q2 to release Instagram stories.
Wow, that's really soon.
Yeah.
Nice. See, that's why you all come here. You get to learn stuff like this that even I didn't know. Great. Scott asks, when will approvals for social media be coming, like what we have in email? This would be amazing for those of us in regulated industries where we need oversight and an approval process.
Definitely. Approvals is also on our roadmap this year. So I would definitely recommend in that survey that's sent in the chat, just adding your name to that anything else section. And once we are in a place that we're releasing approvals to private beta, we can always add you in there as well. But definitely we totally understand like approvals is an important feature for customers, especially in those regulated industries. So it's coming for social this year.
Yeah, and I would say I love this form you two have put together. If people here in the room, if you haven't looked at it, it's like ask, what would you like to see in this part of the social tools? What would you like to see in this? So all your feature requests, go there and give your name and email. This is a pretty high level of openness, and I'm really impressed. And I think you all should take advantage of the opportunity. Angela says, will comments and replies feed into customer records, or can that be workflowed?
Also a great question. So for comments and replies, it currently does not exist in a GA world, but in private beta, we do have a closed group of customers that, again, if you want to be included, please feel free to reach out on that form. But we do have a private beta where if you are to associate a CRM contact record with a person on social, so let's say Jackie on Instagram is the same as Jackie on the CRM, and you check that off, then that person's interaction information will all live within the CRM. And that's just where we're at today. And there's a lot more to go to get that so that you'll be able to then also respond from the CRM. But we're in early stages. If you like to kick the tires around, we'd love to have you.
That's really cool. Is that for specific social platforms only, or just all of them?
So it's specific for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at this point. Yeah.
My understanding is LinkedIn is pretty guarded with it's a hard thing to get access to.
Yes. Currently, LinkedIn is not a part of this beta, but we do see value in like seeing all that information and like really tying it together within your HubSpot system. So if you want to help grow our tool, we'd love to have you.
Cool. Aaron asks, for targeting, is that for general posts or is that through LinkedIn ads?
That would be for general, so organic social posts.
Thanks. Jeanette asks, is there a way to use HubSpot lists for audience/lookalike audiences within LinkedIn?
At this time, I don't believe so, but I think that's something we can look into. I don't believe you can do that at this time. No.
For the folks who do opt into that CRM contact association, we will be launching soon the ability to use social interactions for list segmentation. So if you want to be involved and get this is like hot off the press. It hasn't been launched yet, but it's coming soon for those in the beta. So feel free to reach out. We'd love to have you.
Nice. How does targeting work for organic? Is the post hidden in any way from other audiences? Will it better reach people in the target that don't follow the page?
Yeah, so when you do target to a specific demographic, for example, it will not only be limited to just that demographic, but they are more likely to see it. However, for example, if someone in that target views that post and they can share it with someone else, that person will also be able to see it as well. So there's still like sharing ability amongst those posts. They're just more likely to be seen within your audience for those groups. So they'll be prioritized on their LinkedIn feed.
Nick asks, does anyone see any lack of functionality setting up and working in Hubby as opposed to directly in the media channel UI? So I think the question is like, is there a trade-off? Do you lose anything by posting from HubSpot as opposed to natively inside whichever social platform?
I love that reference to Hubby. I don't think you do. You know, I've heard that sentiment before, and like Jackie, you correct me if I'm wrong, but we've heard this before. But there really isn't any difference from publishing within HubSpot or publishing on the networks in terms of like the engagement that you get, the interactions, the comments, likes. So that is a sentiment though that I've heard buzzing around, but we haven't had customers say that they've noticed any sort of like difference in their interactions or engagement across most of the networks.
Daniel asks, is there an update related to the ability to tag people in LinkedIn posts?
Yeah, @mentions is available right now. If you're speaking specifically to when you're creating the post in LinkedIn with or within HubSpot in the composer, you can @mention a company page or a personal account. So,
and what are the rules there? You can only @mention people you're connected to. Is that right?
yeah.
And then the companies have to, like, they just have to have a public page, right?
Yeah, you have to have a public page. And then also sometimes on LinkedIn, people may have certain privacy settings where they do not allow that. So in the case that you may be searching for someone to @mention, if they have those settings off, then they will not show up within HubSpot.
Cool. When would it be possible to schedule PDFs for LinkedIn posts?
You can do that today. It's completely available to everybody, pro and enterprise. So yeah, LinkedIn PDF publishing is available, as well as the reporting on those documents as well.
Yeah. So the documents, I mean, the only difference between a document post and a regular post is that you're uploading PDF instead of like a video or a picture, right? All the scheduling and the campaign stuff and all that other, that's all the same, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Will there be a way to integrate HubSpot forms with LinkedIn forms?
That is currently not on our radar, but definitely something that's really interesting. So I'd say submit that feedback to us, and that's something we can look into. I'd love to know more about that.
Great.
I love these rapid fire.
Yeah. So Anita again says, my account doesn't have polls and documents. Do I need to activate it somewhere? I suspect that this was given at the same time as the comment in the chat. So Anita, let us know if you're still having trouble finding it. My guess is this question is now outdated, but correct me if I'm wrong. Greg says, is it on the roadmap to support font editing, i.e. bold, etc., and or HTML editing for posts?
Not on our roadmap currently. We don't have that. Yeah.
I only do LinkedIn stuff. The only reason I post to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is because it's just as easy to post to all four in HubSpot as it is to just the one I actually use. But in LinkedIn, at least, I don't think you have any formatting options, even natively in LinkedIn. I don't know if other platforms are different in that regard, but that is a thing I could imagine. Even if HubSpot had like its rich text editor, that would all get stripped out in the post. I don't know if that's true. It's just me speculating.
Yeah, but Greg, definitely throw that into the forum, the as well as ideas forum and or even your CSM, because at the end of the day, like those pieces of feedback will help us to get the growth that we need to start to look how we prioritize and sell for you too.
Let's see, LinkedIn targeting. This is a duplicate question. Antoine says, possibility to create ads audience based on social interactions. So you mentioned social interactions coming to lists in the future, right? And then
Correct.
I don't know ads well enough, but can you use a list as an ads audience? I'm sure everyone in the room is like, Kyle doesn't know this stuff. Why do we listen to this guy?
Yeah, so you're able to use a list, I believe, to target ads audiences. But again, just as a reminder, you'd have to be in this private beta, and that beta will not include LinkedIn. But we will have lists available with social interactions. So whatever you want to do, lead scoring, targeting, you name it, it will exist in this private beta.
Amazing. Is the AI social post available in other languages than English?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
I would
nice.
all out, but I might miss a few. But yeah, definitely multiple English is available.
Great.
Yeah.
Is there any future plans for more advanced Pinterest integration? Important for design industries that utilize that tool.
Great question. It's one of the networks that we haven't had as much traction in, like the B2B space, but definitely something that is on our radar. And again, it's all about that upvote. We want to hear from you all, and having that feedback. And the more feedback that we get, we can look to see how these are growing in your industry. Right now, we're seeing, as we've mentioned, that growth in Instagram as well as YouTube. And so those are probably more the areas that we'll be focusing in on, and we can keep your requests in mind.
And I will say, I've said this before, many of you heard me say this many times, but like the ideas forum is not just lip service. Every internal meeting I've ever been in where a product team is like, hey, we're building this new thing, there's at least one person who presents and says like, and this idea had 200 upvotes and now we've delivered it. So that's 200 people we've made happy. It's very much in the DNA of HubSpot's product team. So please make good use of the ideas forum. It is a very important part of how we make decisions. I'm not sure I understand this question, but I'll read it to you anyway. Is the recommendation to do the campaign setup from within HubSpot, or do those still have to be set up in LinkedIn or the specific channel, then individual content added to those?
I think I would always recommend, definitely, at least at this time now, when you are scheduling your posts out from HubSpot, to always link them to a campaign. That way you can have all the campaign data for social across other marketing assets as well. So I always recommend, when you're planning and publishing through HubSpot, it's always best to link that to the campaign there.
Cool. This one has a bit of a list in it. I'll read it. We'll just go one. So this person is asking whether HubSpot can do all of these things and if different subscriptions are needed. So with that as context, I'll just give them to you one at a time. Alt tagging.
Yes, you can do that within HubSpot.
And are there any differentiations in features between professional and enterprise for social tools? Or if you have the social tools, you just have the social tools, right?
Definitely. There's a couple of differentiations between, do you mean between tiers, Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So if you are actually in the enterprise tier, you have up to 300 social accounts that you can connect. Also, currently YouTube is available at the enterprise tier. So you'll have that YouTube analytics and reporting. Anything else that I forgot, Jackie, or are those two kind of the main things?
Within monitoring, in like that listening space, we have the ability that you can monitor your competitors and hear what they're saying online and how they're performing. So you can kind of go more up to bat and look at your strategy of how can you beat out your competitors, as well as from like an admin level. Speaking of admins, at the enterprise level, we support user and team partitioning. So if your teams are split up, that your brands are focused on, like one team has a brand, another team has a brand, and you don't want to get that data mishmashed, it can be very much segmented out so you can have that clear reporting.
Got it. That makes sense. But for this sorts of things we're talking about, like alt tagging or anything in the social composer, doesn't matter if you're pro or enterprise, that experience is going to be the same, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So alt tagging was the first one. Sounds like that's a yes. Reels.
Yep. Reels is available both at Pro and Enterprise for Instagram.
Carousels.
If they mean specifically Instagram carousels, yes.
Okay. Angela, we might need a little clarification on whether you mean that for other things too. Video. Yes, I do video every day on all 4 platforms. I'm happy to answer. And then paid ads is that's separate, right? The ads tool. So. Okay, I hope that helps, Angela. Let us know if we skipped anything or missed anything. Gus, this is not a question, but I'll pass along anyway. Instagram direct messages are a crucial channel for Service Hub use cases. So this is piling on to what Max said before about the support use case. Gus, definitely submit that form if you haven't already. Rebecca asks, will there be an Instagram link in bio feature? That's interesting.
TBD on that one. Definitely something we hear a lot of feedback on, because it's a great way for you to, link that in your bio and then directly links to your website as well as other business assets. So it's definitely something we're researching and just looking into, but no plans currently, at least for this year, on link in bio.
I'm just imagining this wild world now, because every one of my posts has a link in it, and Instagram's like, no links. And like, if every post just updated my profile with a new link, it would probably just cause mass confusion. I don't know, but it would be fun. It would scratch that itch for me a little bit. Nick from Fargo says, schedule first comment on scheduled posts. Upvote for this question if you are cool. We can do this in Instagram already, right? Schedule the first comment.
Yes, for Instagram. So I'm curious, does he mean LinkedIn or maybe other networks? I'd love to know more, but currently you can schedule first comment for Instagram.
I've wondered, my own questions, just putting you on the spot here. I upvote myself. Is there a reason Instagram like is the place that came first? Is that like a thing people do on Instagram, or was the API easier to build there? Or I'm just curious.
I believe there could be some API limitations, but Instagram at least is the network where that actually is a great way to get a lot of engagement on your post. So if you're the first person to comment on that post, it kind of starts that traction with the algorithm as well. So we've heard from customers that having that first comment there kind of starts the engagement process. So yeah.
All right, I've been trying to figure out how to get my Instagram going. I'm going to give that a try.
Just another call out, though. Just another call out though, just for, not even just the first comment, but again, like continuing to monitor and have that engagement, that helps to really boost your posts, because with having all the interactions, that's going to help, you to see that growth. So just like another call out for, you definitely want to be leveraging the monitoring tools too.
Yeah, for sure. I suspect Instagram and Facebook know I'm not users of their platform, and they're like, Kyle, why are you posting here? You don't go here. But I use the monitoring tools, and when people comment, I reply, and it makes me feel like maybe it'll win over the platforms eventually. But I'm going to start doing first comments. I think that'll be fun. Marlo asks, if your company Facebook page is in a Facebook group, can we get notified when we are mentioned?
So Facebook groups currently is not supported. That's because of the API, but interesting feedback. And we do have partnerships with our team at Meta as well. So something I can raise to them as a question if it will be on the roadmap.
Cool. Danielle asks, are polls only available for LinkedIn?
Currently, yes. Yeah.
Do other platforms have polls? I really only know LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think potentially maybe Facebook, but definitely not Instagram. Twitter. I think Twitter is actually exploring polls as well. So that's an interesting one. Yeah.
Good to know. Anita, poor Anita. Let's connect Anita. She's also says she's not seeing the targeting options. So I suspect something strange is maybe happening with Anita's access or permissions or something. So
yes, I should have clarified in the chat. So LinkedIn targeting currently is in private beta. If anyone does request it through either in the rollouts or through the survey, I can release that to you before end of day today. So as those come in today, I'll go through all of the requests and start releasing that to people.
Okay. TikTok, Pinterest. Well, we've been through a lot of these.
I'm noting them.
Yep.
I saw an interesting one on Instagram Threads. So currently, I know everybody is getting on Threads. There isn't an API available at this time for us to integrate with, but I think Meta announced that they were actually looking to make an API, a public API available at some point. So we're definitely like keeping a pulse on it with our partners.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Sean says, I know Instagram Reels are in Composer. Yay. But will there be support for choosing audios for those Reels?
We hope so. Lots of feedback on this. Currently, that's also an API limitation as well on Instagram's end, but we're definitely sharing that feedback with them.
Michael asks, what is the name of the CRM social interaction beta? That one is not listed in the product updates page currently, right? Is that what you were saying? He needs to submit the form.
I think I tried to respond in the Q&A and I realized that it just kind of got jumbled because It's not upvoted. It's called Social CRM Matches.
Oh, yeah, I see that right below his. Okay, yep.
Yeah. But definitely reach out. Love to ungate you.
Nisha asks how to convert a blog into a social post. I think that's actually a really fun feature. I don't know if your team built that, but I think it's really cool.
Definitely. So right now, what you can do from actually the blogging tool, you go into the blogging tool and you can create a social media post that links out to your blog, and you type in, the contents of your caption. But with the AI assistant now as well, you can actually auto-generate a summary of that blog as well into the social caption and link out to that blog as well. So that's a really, really cool feature. I definitely recommend trying that out. And it just makes it really easy to kind of accompany social posts with blogs as well.
And is that currently in general availability? Is it still a beta?
Yeah, it's still in beta, but I think everyone should have access to it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Justin asks, is there quality downsampling/clamping in 4K video while using HubSpot Post Scheduler?
I don't believe so. I'd like to know more about that. Are you having like a quality issue, Justin, when you do publish through HubSpot in terms of like the video quality?
Just anecdotally, I recently was trying to schedule a video and got an error because the video had too high of a frame rate for what Instagram recommends.
Okay.
And so that is not a HubSpot issue. Like HubSpot apparently just keeps the frame rate you upload, whatever it is, and then warns you and stops you if you're trying to post something that the social media site will reject. So Justin, I don't know if you're requesting this as a feature or if you're worried that it might happen. But I think in either case, you should check on the recommendations from the platform you're posting to, because I can imagine some of them don't accept 4K videos. They're too big.
Justin says Instagram does natively accept 4K uploads in the chat.
Oh, interesting.
And it does cause errors through HubSpot only.
Interesting. Okay. Let me drop my email in the chat, Justin, and send me a message. Send me an email and we can definitely have the team look into this.
In the chat, I just wanted to give a quick shout out. Katie, our product lead for social and ads, she just asked a question. So in the chat, if you want to answer, curious to learn about how those who are using Pinterest for your social efforts, go dive in real time just to answer her question too.
Cool. Max asks a question that's very near and dear to my heart because he and I have started doing a LinkedIn Live weekly broadcast together. He says, is there any plans or explorations into any of the live streaming platforms? Not even sure what the integration will look like, but just a curious little guy over here.
I can take this one. Currently, it's not on the roadmap. It's definitely something that we are keeping tabs on as that part grows in the social space.
I would be so happy if HubSpot had a live streaming tool, but I could totally imagine that being an entirely separate product because it's not really the same at all. Jeanette asks, is that targeted audience for 300 followers to our account or 300 in the audience we're targeting?
Good question. So it's actually 300 followers on your account. So if you have, for example, 250, you won't be able to use the targeting option, but you can have different demographics that add up to just above that 300 total.
Cool. We are getting close on time here. As promised, we are not going to get through all the questions. So one last little PSA here to put your requests and things into that form. Let me see. I'll take this one. Hector, are there lessons in the HubSpot Academy that are too outdated for 2024? And should I avoid watching for the first time? So Crystal King on the Academy team owns all our social content, and she is working very hard to keep it up to date. It is a very fast moving space. And just to give you a little peek behind the curtain, I suppose this is okay. Crystal has really been advocating very hard for a new format of HubSpot Academy trainings. Instead of our long form, updated once a year kind of content, just short, quick micro learning that comes out as things change in the social space. She's hoping to pilot that sometime this year. So as far as I know, none of the stuff in HubSpot Academy is so outdated that you should avoid it. But definitely keep your eyes open for maybe shorter, snappier, more timely content coming from HubSpot Academy this year. That is a direction we're hoping to lean into. And I think in the social space especially, that's crucial to having educational content that is at all relevant. It just, everything changes too fast to do our old traditional approach to education. So with that, we have just a few minutes left and we have a lot of last questions here, but I think I'm just going to cut it off because we're not going to get through them all. So Jackie and Lehman, thanks so much for being here. It sounds like if people have additional questions and things, your preferred method for them to reach out is this form. Is that right?
Definitely. Yeah. Submit it into the form. Or even we've dropped our emails in the chat as well. So if you just want to have any clarifying questions on what you saw today, also send us an email.
Cool. Well, thanks again, both of you, for being here. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Twist ending. There's some breaking HubSpot news happening like right now. And I'm going to just drop this in the chat. We have changed our seats model. So that's going to have impacts for a lot of you starting in March. So this is new on the HubSpot's company announcements page. Got the Slack message while this event was going. So you're all the first to know. Big changes are coming. Sorry, Jackie and Lehman, to upend the end of your event here. But thanks again for being here. Thanks again for tackling so many questions. One last time, everyone, go to that form, give your feedback and ideas. And that's all for this week. See you all next week.
Hey, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.